Hey, can you hear me, Juanid?
Yeah, here, Junaid's here. Can hear you. How you doing?
Good, good. How about yourself, sir?
Not too bad. Sorry for
Awesome.
the delay. Just got back from picking up my kid from school. Had to get him settled down.
That is no excuses. Being a parent,
I know.
being
What the
responsible and
what's
taking
wrong
care
with
of your
you,
kid.
Junaid? Amen, amen. How you been? How's everything going for you?
I feel very free right now. I was a little bit nervous, to be honest with you, this morning.
Oh yeah.
My son had to get a procedure done for his teeth, so they put him
Oh my god.
under, and he's only 3. So I was
Oh my god.
really, really freaked out about that, to
Yeah,
be completely honest. But I'm glad it went well. Everything's good, so I'm thankful.
that's so good to hear, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Like, all right. So just adjust your camera a little bit so we're head sizes are about the same.
Okay.
There you go, much better. You got the awesome ring in the background.
Yes.
Oh, I wish you had the same lights as there in the ring.
I know, right? That would be cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if, let me see if this does
See
anything.
if we can change the color.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
that looks similar. It's not as yellow anymore.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, it's been a jam-packed day.
Has it been?
It's been, pretty fun day.
Nice.
I went to teach high school today.
What'd you
Uh,
teach him?
I teach them podcasting.
Ah, very cool.
Yeah, importance of video, and importance of having good conversations on podcasts or people in general. Do you have a dedicated microphone? If you don't mind me asking.
I do have a Yeti.
All right.
Only challenge I whenever I attempt to use it, it's kind of hit or miss with this thing, and I don't know why.
Well, you
I'll
need
give it.
to take my course
Okay. Let's see
on
what we
setting up
got.
your studio space.
All right. Let testing, testing.
And that's a lot better, man. So
Now I
see where the
can't hear you. Let me change my
so the cool part about oh, never mind, you can't hear me.
can you talk now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay. I will get this figured out.
Okay.
Um how about now?
Hello, hello, testing. What's
There
happening?
it
This is
goes. Okay.
Junaid. Okay. So another thing about the microphone, so the microphone actually accepts on the side, not the top part. So you want the microphone
How's that?
position in front of you where you can see the logo.
Any better?
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay.
All right, let's get rolling. I'm just gonna hit stop and record again. Oh my god. Got a yawn coming. I gotta do this. Welcome back to Hacks and Hobbies, and today I'm beyond thrilled to introduce a guest who knows all about overcoming obstacles, mastering discipline, and unlocking inner strength. Clifford Starks is not only a former UFC fighter and a Hall of Famer, but also a master at transforming pressure into fuel for success. Clifford, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast, man.
Hey, I appreciate you having me, Juanita. Thank you very much.
By the way, my name
I
is
am sorry. I messed your name up, and I apologize.
yes, it's Janae, like
The
lemonade.
name,
You know,
like lemonade.
straight up, the letter J. It is actually an Arabic name, so it comes from the word jund, which means war, and Junaid is actually means warrior. So
That's like a perfect name for us having a conversation right
I
now.
know, right? We're talking about warriors here. We
Yeah,
got a former UFC champion, and we've got a Super Junaid here.
I love that. I love
I
that.
love it.
Awesome.
Now, before we go deep into your unique approach to peak performance, I'd love to hear about your personal journey. How did your experience in the UFC and mastering the fundamentals translate into the world of coaching and entrepreneurs?
Yeah. So going through the journey, most of the battle is in those areas no one else can see.
Hmm.
And it's really kind of interesting because our eyes are used to seeing what they see. And with our eyes, that's how we navigate the world. And so in that navigation, we start looking at the process of don't judge a book by its cover. And we naturally do that. It's one of those things that we do. And as I've gone through it, ultimately I say to myself, how am I going to show up? And how am I going to show up in the ring? How am I going to show up when I step into the cage?
Sorry
Everything
about
okay?
that. Yes, my wife called. Um, I took her car to pick up the kids, and she had to go. Oh my god! So I had to, listen in. Like,
Yeah.
oops, sorry. And like I said, sometimes the punches come at you.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta take the punches.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Yeah. The flow of life.
flow about life. So I'm sorry, I didn't catch all the stuff that you said.
Yeah. Yeah. So you asked me about
And
stepping into the cage. How do I essentially prepare for that? Was that
yeah, I'll ask you a question again, but there's an issue. So if you can turn the volume down on your side for your microphone, it's a little too hot.
testing, testing? Is that any better?
So on the back of the microphone, there's a gain. Put it all the way down. So
Testing, testing.
that's better.
Okay.
Okay, so the question was, I'd love to hear about your personal journey and your experience in the UFC, mastering the fundamentals,
Yeah.
translate into the world of coaching entrepreneurs and leaders.
Yeah. So ultimately, as I go through my journey, uh, we're playing the same game, whether we're fighting, dancing, married, life, whatever it may be. And the game's the internal game. When we get the internal game right, we can master the external game. And so there's a guy, Myron Golden. I really respect him as a coach, a leader, and a salesperson. And he says amateurs practice until they get it right. Professionals practice until they can't get it wrong. And so as I go through my journey, I'm always practicing internally and making sure I'm okay internally so that I can show up externally. And most of the time it works because I know that it's an internal game. And when it doesn't work, because sometimes it doesn't, I just reset and I say, okay, how do I make it work next time? What do I do differently? What did I learn? What can I achieve? Who can I become for the next battle, the next bout? And life's the same thing. You have battles, you have bouts, and every time your feet touch the ground, you are stepping into your arena. Now, some people might not know they're stepping into their arena, but that's essentially what we're doing, stepping into our arena every single day.
100%, man. 100%. We are definitely stepping into the arena, whether we like it or not, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh crap, this went wrong. Oh my God, this went wrong. You got to continue and go through those arenas to come out on top, even if you have to fail, right?
Yeah. I look at it and I go, the game's so simple, but it's also so complex. And if it's a simple game, it's really bringing a bunch of simplicities together to create something that's complex. Because if I told a person, hey, in MMA, you're dealing with Muay Thai, you're dealing with jiu-jitsu, you're dealing with wrestling, you're dealing with boxing, you're dealing with kickboxing, you're dealing with elbows, you're dealing with knees, you're dealing with thinking, you're dealing with, the mind's going to go nuts. But if I say, hey, we're going to practice on your offense and we're going to learn one move today. We're going to practice on your defense and we're going to learn one move today. And it becomes so simple to the mind where it just takes that step.
Yeah.
The step of, I don't remember who quoted this, but they say the destination of 1,000 steps starts with one. And I really do that same foundation in everything that I do in life. Like, okay, what's the one step that we have to take? Because the one step will lead to the next and lead to the next.
No, that's a really great point because you've got to get started no matter what. How do you eat an elephant, right?
Yeah.
One small bite at a time. And it's really amazing to see that when you break everything down to its most smallest step, it's much easier to accomplish than to be like, oh my God, I got to do all these 10 different things. And you keep thinking about the 10 different things. And it's, guess what? You're just overwhelm yourself and you keep from doing all the things. You keep yourself from doing even the smallest thing because you're thinking about the so much bigger picture instead of breaking it down.
Yep. And the crazy thing too, like I like to add, no matter what we do, like you use the word failure, and I love that word, but I also love the words that serve people, right? So I go, whether it's failure, whether it's learning, whether it's understanding, whether it's observing, whatever words you have to use to get back on that horse.
Yeah.
Because I tend to eat the elephant fully. Like I'm bad at that. Like, and sometimes I have to choke the elephant back up. Like, okay, that didn't work. But I also learned something. Like I go, oh crap, I didn't die. And our minds want to make things so freaky and so scary and like, now we're never going to get there. Don't even try. And then when you do try, then your mind starts to battle you in different ways. Like, it's not fast enough. It doesn't work. We should just stop.
100%. Now, Clifford, you've made an incredible transition from being a UFC fighter to a transformational coach. how are you applying the fighter's mindset to coaching business leaders and entrepreneurs? I think you mentioned that, right? You
Yeah.
focus on the simplest thing possible. Okay, let's focus on defense. Let's focus on offense. I'm gonna teach you about this one step that you can then practice. Talk to me more about that.
So this is what I love when I talk about keeping things simple. And so fighting comes down to getting three things right: your offense, your defense, your mindset. You get your offense right by being able to throw an attack. You get your defense right by being able to avoid an attack or neutralize the attack. And I go, okay, things are broken down in two or three things when you really think about it. Two or three things.
Mm-hmm.
And so in entrepreneurship, as I went through the journey, I was like, holy crap, okay, this is a game of psychology. So understanding your psychology, understanding you, and then understanding how you show up with the psychology that you have. So you have to negotiate with yourself for what? Even when you're fighting, you got to negotiate with yourself. You got to convince yourself that you're safe going into a cage with another killer, essentially. And so in entrepreneurship, it's convincing yourself that you're worthy, that you can create transformation, that you can create the thing that you're looking to create for people.
Mm.
And then two, communication with others. And communication with others, in fighting, it's a little bit differently. You're communicating with your fist and your feet.
Yeah.
But in entrepreneurship, you are communicating with saying, hey, I have something for you.
Mm.
And what's really funny in fighting, you're saying, I have something for you. And both are forms of collaboration when you really think about it, because a fighter gets in to see who they are as a fighter.
Mm.
They get in to test themselves. They don't want someone to just fall over and say, you beat me.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is much the same thing. It's communicating that your services can serve, how they can serve, why they can serve, and why they can serve that specific person as well. Like, you got to know your stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's communication with the environment. So as a fighter, understanding cage presence, understanding the ring, understanding what works, understanding what serves you and what doesn't serve you, understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. Business, the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding which vehicle do I use, which system do I use, which process do I use, why am I using it, does it actually serve me, does it serve someone else and not me so much? Like, so these are the questions. When you really take the time to ask those, is like, okay, and it's constantly something you never stop. Like, as a fighter, you never stop fighting. And I go, the only difference between a champion and a non-champion, champions know they're like everybody else. So they're going to do that extra rep. They're going to do that extra step. They're going to do the extra thing because they know that everyone else can do the exact same thing.
Mm.
And so as an entrepreneur, if you're looking to be a champion, what I love about it, it's a champion of you. Like, you have something that I could never have, just as I have something you could never have.
Mm-hmm.
And when I can express it and communicate it properly, just as you can express and communicate it properly, well, then it's like, yeah, it's a done deal. I know who I work with and I know who I don't. But if you don't know your audience and you're not clear, and I am clear, I can get someone that was really actually meant for you.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Now that's really powerful, and in that you're not only just practicing, but you're going further, deeper into understanding. Hey, here's who I am, and here's who I can help, and here's how I help them. So you're basically going again, getting more clarity into who you are. I think it's what enables you to then be empowered as well.
Yeah. Clarity is king. And I have something, it's part of my fighter's formula. And I go, clarity, confidence, commitment. And before you can get confident, it's about being clear. Because if you're trying to drive blindfold, watch how unconfident you are driving down the street. Like, it just doesn't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And then if you're not confident, how committed can you be? Like, you're just not going to be committed to it. You're not going to push on that accelerator if you can't see what you're
Mm-hmm.
pushing towards. And so that's like, I go, oh, this is a game of clarity. When you get really clear, then your confidence comes in, and then your commitment comes in to the clarity and the confidence. They go hand in hand.
That's really powerful, Clifford. Now, I love that you talk about the confidence, the clarity, and how the more you implement them, the more you start to master those fundamentals. Now, the importance of mastering the fundamentals in both fighting and business, why is this critical for success?
So success means two things: fulfillment, enjoying what you're doing, and also achievement, actually getting to the thing.
Hmm.
Now, if you're not clear, it's like impossible to get to the thing. Because if I were to say, I need a drink of water, right? And I don't have a container to hold the drink in, or I don't know how to get the water, it's always going to be hard for me. And I'll never
Hmm.
actually get the thing that I want. But if I say I would like a glass of water in the refrigerator, that's clarity. And you're clear and it's simple. It becomes easy. Well, I think business is the same thing. And I think fighting is the same thing.
Hmm.
When we know what we're going after, when we're really, really clear and concise, then we can take the necessary actions. But if we don't know, we might even be happy with what we're doing, but how long is that happiness going to last?
Yeah.
You know, they say money doesn't buy happiness, but a result is a result is a result. And we want results in life. If you didn't want a result, then it's like, okay, I want to drive from Arizona to California, and I gave you a faulty vehicle to get there, it's going to be a little bit frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say, hey, getting somewhere isn't about happiness, or getting somewhere doesn't make you happy, well, that's even more frustrating, I would think, because it's like,
Like,
wow,
wait,
they're
what?
really not helping me get to the thing that I want to get to.
Man, that's so good. I like that. I like that a lot because having that clarity and being able to achieve the result is the ultimate success for sure.
Yeah.
Now, whether if it's for a fighter leading a company, showing up as your best self is so crucial. What strategies do you use to help your clients tap into their inner strength and bring their best selves to the table every day?
You know, that's a great question. And here's what's crazy, because what does it mean to show up as my best self? Like, that's the question. And to me, if I'm coaching you, for instance, your greatness is inside of you, not inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to ask the appropriate questions to pull something out of you to see it in a way you haven't seen it, or to
Mm.
act in a way you haven't acted before. And so me, let's say I'm at 50%. Let's just say
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be off. But will I be off my game? Not necessarily. Not if I know the intention that I'm going after. Now, if I can't think clearly or I'm off, then yes, that's a thing. Like, I gotta, hey, can we reschedule this? Because I want to make sure that I'm there for you. I think that's important.
Yeah.
But if I know my intentionality, me asking the most appropriate questions that will serve you to pull something out of you and have you see it, and then even saying, I could actually use my 50% by
Mm-hmm.
saying, you see how easily I helped you get to where you were at my 50%? You can actually still produce 100% result with low, like, your energy's low, but is it really if your intentionality is high?
Yeah.
And so there's been times I haven't felt like doing something, but I can do it because my intention is there. And with my intention, I can act in the way that I want to act.
And that's so powerful, especially because having that discipline, right, to be able to show up and knowing exactly the intention that we have to show up the best way possible. Because at the end of the day, it's not about you. It's about the client that you're working. It's about getting them results. It's about showing them that it's possible. It's about showing them that if I can do it, so can you.
Yeah. It was so freeing for me on my business journey because as a business owner, I thought I was supposed to give people something that they needed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize it's giving them something that they want. They already have the want and the desire for it.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like that realization of, oh my goodness, this is why this is so hard. And there's a reason why certain people need things. And there's a reason why certain people are where they want to be because they know what they want and they know they have this brain that
Yeah.
feeds them a lot of crap. Because I know my brain feeds me a lot of crap. And I gotta like jump through certain hoops. And
Yeah.
I have 3 coaches that I'm working with right now. So I'm not because there's coaches out there who don't get coaching. That's an issue to me. Like that's a little bit scary.
Yeah.
But it I drink the Kool-Aid that I pass out. I drink
Yeah.
the Kool-Aid that I pass out.
Love that.
And when you can do that, it allows you to go like, oh, we do serve one another because you can't see the forest from the trees when you're in it. If you're in it, it's kind of hard to see it for
Mm-hmm.
anybody.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Now, let's steer the ship in another direction, mainly
Yeah.
because as we're recording this podcast, we're not only recording audio, but we're also recording video. And many of our listeners are either entrepreneurs or they're striving to improve their personal and professional lives. Now, what are the things can they do right now in their own space, whether their office or studio, that will improve their focus and productivity?
There's a saying, and it aligns with everything that I do. Less is more. And so I always say, okay, what are the pieces that make the biggest moves? What are those pieces? And I know there's something called the Pareto Principle, which I absolutely love. And it's figuring out how do I find the 20% that will produce 80% of my results
Mm-hmm.
instead of vice versa, and finding the 80% that's going to produce 20% of my results. And this is a very intentional action
Yeah.
because sometimes it might not hit you. So what I do is I go, okay, let me start with the end in mind and work backwards. What are the things that got to that place? And so we can take the Arizona, California thing all over again. You're in Arizona and you want to go to California.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, okay, how quickly do I want to get there? Do I want to get there in 4 hours? Do I want to get there in 8 hours? Do I want to get there in 100 hours? Like, what am I looking to do?
Or
And
in
then
one
it's like,
hour.
yeah, or 1 hour. And then you ask yourself the question, okay, what are the necessary pieces to make that a reality? When we get really specific with the data points, like what number are we looking to get to?
Mm-hmm.
When do we want to get there? Where are we looking to go? It starts making things simpler because then we go, okay, what vehicle do I use? Which vehicle is the best for me? And what do I even know? Like, for instance, you saying in 1 hour, my mind literally has to start playing with it because I don't know how to get there in 1 hour. But if I played with it, I could potentially learn how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now the question, this is where it gets super interesting, on saying, do I want to use the mental energy to learn how to get to from Arizona to California in 1 hour? Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. But play with that and really say, like, okay, what is it that I want? What is it that I want? Who do I need to be? What vehicles do I need to use? Who do I need to be and which vehicles do I need to use? And which vehicles do I need to eliminate as well?
Mm-hmm.
And there's usually more of an elimination process, at least from what I've seen,
Yeah.
than an adding things. Usually we have to eliminate more than we add. And this was as a personal trainer, as a fighter, as a business coach and consultant. It's like the same game every single time.
100%. So my 1 hour to get from Arizona to California would be, of course, getting on an airplane,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
As opposed to driving a motorcycle or a car or a bus. That's going to take different amount of time. So again, it goes back to what Myron Golden, he has a talk on how you can make $1 million in 1 hour, which is a lot easier
Mm,
to do than to make $1 million in 1 day, which
mm,
again is, so again, he goes from 1 year down to 1 day, and how he says how it's easier to make $1 million in 1 month than in 1 year, because
yeah.
not only are you shrinking time, but you're also using different modes of transportation to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. I love how he brings up the transportation. And I'll tell you, like, so my mind kind of does this, and I don't think it's good or bad or right or wrong,
Sure.
but a plane, I think it takes like 50 minutes on a plane. But then I'm equating for the packing, I'm
Sure.
equating for the going through travel, I'm
Of
equating
course.
to all of those little pieces.
Yeah.
And what was interesting, different people need different things as well. Like it's just kind of like, so I asked the question, okay, what does this person need to believe to take the necessary actions to create the reality that they want to
Mhm.
create? Because if they want to create a reality, the one thing that I know for sure, this is what I know for sure. If you have something you want to go after, you're better going after it and not getting it than you ever were not going after it.
Yeah.
Than you ever were not going after it. Because the learning lessons that you can acquire from just going after it, it's going to amplify you in other areas of your life.
100%.
And that's why I remind people, hey, take actions on what you want. You're gonna learn something.
Amen. Amen. Man, Clifford, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for bringing in the big guns.
Do not. Hey, I appreciate you bringing the time, and I appreciate the podcast, and I
Absolutely.
appreciate seeing a master at work, because I know you are a podcast master with the lighting and the cleanness. It looks really cool. So thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Now, before we end this show, let's take a quick break. And when we get back from the break, you'll be sharing 3 hacks that our audience can implement in their lives.
Awesome.
Hey guys, welcome back to the episode. We've been talking with Clifford Starks, from UFC fighter to a coach for business coach for entrepreneurs and leaders. Now, Clifford, our listeners love actionable advice. Could you share
Yeah.
3 powerful, practical hacks that anyone can implement today to improve their
Absolutely.
mindset and
Yeah. So
performance?
I'll share pieces from the fighter's formula. The first one we kind of talked about, where it's about intentionality.
Hmm.
Now, intentionality to me means, okay, what is your North Star? Where are you going? Where are you looking to go? And write that down. So I got into the UFC in less than a year, and I wrote it down and I put it on my refrigerator because I knew where I was looking to go. And whether there's obstacles or no obstacles, when you know where you're going, you can effectively navigate the obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't know, I mean, it's an impossible game to play.
Yeah.
A taxi comes over and says, "Hey, where you going?" And you say, "I don't know. I just want you to drive me all over the place and then I'll know where I'm then. When I'm there, like, they can drive in circles."
Yeah.
So know your North Star. The second is measure what matters. And when I say measure what matters, it's not only measure what matters, but measure what matters to you. When I was dealing with my weight journey, and even as an entrepreneur, I was weighing myself on the scale when I first started, and it was a nightmare. It was really, really hard because I was weighing myself every single day, and it was frustrating. So what I did, instead of looking at those numbers, I started looking at my calorie count. I started looking at the ingredients of the foods I was eating, and I made a game out of that. And that became more it wasn't as frustrating to me. It was, if I measure these numbers and I just stick to the process, everything else will just be a byproduct.
Yeah.
And in business, it's the same thing. Like I'm measuring my numbers, but I'm also measuring the impact, because impact's important to me. It's not just about, oh, well, you got some good money. Like that's not the life to me. Like I
Mhm.
want impact. That is the most important to me. So figure out those numbers. What are the numbers that really matter to you? And ask yourself, are they really the numbers that matter to me? Or
Mm.
were they programmed to matter to me? Because a lot of the times people are programmed to believe that numbers matter that really just don't to them. So they really got to ask that question. And then the third step, passionate action. And it's so simple, yet so powerful. And as I've gone through this journey, the simple things are the most important things. And you
Mhm.
get to see that when you see it. Everybody sees that in their own time.
Yeah.
But passionate action is, okay, what do I love? What fills me up? And what takes my energy? And write all those things down. Now, I'm not a person to tell you, oh, if it takes your energy, don't do it. No, there's sometimes you got to do that. Like sometimes it might be an important thing that helps you get to the next thing.
Yeah.
But if it does take your energy, ask yourself, who do I delegate that to? How do I delegate it? What would I do? How would I ask someone to delegate it? Because even delegation isn't simple. Like
Mhm.
every time you go through a process, you
Yeah.
learn a bunch of things about that process, a bunch of nuances that you're like, holy crap, I didn't know there was all of that in there.
Yeah.
But if you're clear enough to actually see the things that you want and see the things that you don't, you have a better chance at effectively communicating to somebody who has the answer, someone who can serve you, someone who can support you. So get those on a list and put it down and say, okay, what's my perfect life look like? How am I doing more of the things that I love and less of the things that I don't?
Man, that's really powerful. I love it. Thank you so much. So, hack number 1, intentionality. Know your North Star so you know exactly where you're going. You know exactly where to go. Hack number 2, measure what matters to you, not just any random number. Sure, you could be measuring how many followers have or how many downloads you have, but that's not going to matter because it doesn't translate that well. I mean, I weigh myself every single day too, and I'm like, well, that's interesting. But that's a really cool thing to where you say, okay, let me measure what calories am I putting in the body? How clean is that food? What is it
Mm-hmm.
doing for my body? Am I, is it affecting me the good way or the bad way?
Mm-hmm.
And hack 3 is taking passionate action. I love that. Love that so much. All right,
And
Clifford, thank you so much. To wrap up the show, we're going to be in the last segment, the fun 6 questions. So, question number 1, what's the one hobby, Clifford, that you wish you got into?
I don't know a hobby that I wish I would have gotten into, because if I I'm definitely a forward thinker and a present thinker. If I want something, I get into it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'll go into something that's new, like, oh, that was kind of cool. Let me do more
Yeah.
of that. If I want to do it, I'm going to do it.
Nice. I like it. I like it. Next up, what did you want to be when you were growing up?
I actually wanted to be a fighter. Yeah,
Mm.
I used to look at Bruce Lee stuff.
Oh
It always
yes.
interested me. Yeah. So I'm really happy with what I've done in my journey.
Super, super. All right. What's your favorite movie or TV show that inspires you?
This is going to sound so crazy, I'm sure, but it is what it is. There's a movie called The Princess Bride. Um,
Yes.
and I I'm strangely I like to call myself a lover and a fighter. I want to be
Yeah.
able to do both. I like how Wesley was a romantic. Like I really like how As You Wish, he was a gentleman and a scholar, but he could also whoop some ass.
I love it. I love it. Next up is Who is your favorite superhero and why?
I love Superman. And can I do two? Because I'm an
Sure.
entrepreneur.
Yes.
I love Superman and I love Batman for completely opposing different reasons. So Superman's like this beast that nothing can stop, but you get him around a green rock and all of a sudden he can't do anything. That's kind of hilarious to me.
Mhm.
And then Batman is a guy who has no superpowers, but everyone's terrified of him because he has his brain. He's a powerhouse. He can
Yeah,
outthink anybody. And he uses tools, he uses weapons. So I think they're the perfect like duality of what being a superhero is.
I love this, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Last question. If you were a board game, which one would you be and why?
All that pops up is Monopoly because I just like there's the roll of the dice and then there's what you do with the roll of the dice.
True. True.
And in
Very true.
life, you get to roll dice, but then you have to be a good enough strategist in rolling of the dice.
Yeah.
Now, what's also interesting, I believe there's a way where everyone can essentially win and support one another. But in our westernized society, we're very competitive and we use the word
Yes.
like, oh, monopoly is a bad word. And when they take over and they're going to run everybody over, like, yeah, you could, or you could support everyone.
Yeah.
And there's four areas. And so if you monopolize your area and just your area, everyone can actually win. I
100%.
just thought about that actually as we were talking.
That's how it goes, man. That's why these conversations are
Yeah.
so powerful. Well, Clifford, it's been an
Yeah. Thank you
absolute
for the
honor.
question.
Yeah, man. It's been an absolute honor to have you on Hacks and Hobbies today. Your insights into how to channel that fighter's mindset and unlock inner strength are truly inspiring. And before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners, and where can our audience find you?
Yeah, I want to say thank you. I'm glad that we got to connect and have a conversation. Appreciate the questions. Audience, appreciate you listening as well. If any of you found value in this or feel like could be a good support system for you, I have my Facebook, Clifford Starks, also my LinkedIn, and I have a community called the Fearless Fighter X community. And that's a space like I talk about X being the X factor. There's an X factor in every single one of us.
Mm,
And I look to bring people's X factors out so that they can grow their life, grow their business, and shock the world because it's up to us business owners coming together and creating the best products, services, and experiences that we can create for the people that we love to serve.
absolutely, man. Thank you so much again, Clifford, for coming on. And thank you all for tuning in to Hacks and Hobbies, Passion to Profit Story. Until next time, keep challenging yourself, keep growing, and keep hacking away at your goals. And